So today we have balanced bites for busy lives. That's kind of a mouthful, but really excited to, hear what great nutrition information, tips, strategies that we can implement for just healthier eating habits and to where it makes it easy, that it doesn't have to be so difficult. So it looks like we have Kelsey, Haley, and Gabriella joining us today, and looking forward to this great information that you guys have to share for us.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Haley,
I'm Kelsey, and I'm Gabriella.
and we're dietetic students at the College of Allied Health in OKC, and today we're going to talk about snacking. So, snacking is something that the majority of the population does, and so we thought it would be beneficial to talk about how to build healthier snacks. And so, I just want to start with a fun interactive activity and have everyone put your favorite snack that you bring to work in the chat. And I'll kind of just read through them and see what we have. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of like nuts and fruit. That's really good. Ooh, cottage cheese and fruit. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of balanced snacks already. That's good. Okay, well, those look like some really good snacks. You're making me hungry and it's lunchtime. So now we're gonna take a look at some snacks and I'm gonna have you put which snack you think is the most balanced in the chat. Okay, so here we have Pop-Tarts. We have a plate with eggs, fruit, cheese, and crackers. We have a fruit bowl, pretzels, and chocolate ice cream. I'm gonna give you all a minute to put what you think is the most balanced in the chat. Okay, good. I'm seeing a lot of the plate with the eggs, fruit, and cheese. I'm not sure what the Pop-Tarts are. I saw someone ask if the Pop-Tarts are mixed fruit ones. I'm not sure what's in them, but we can say yes for that. Okay, well, it looks like most of y'all got the answer correct, which is the snack plate that is on this slide. And so you might be wondering why this is, and that's really what we're going to get into today. So we really want you to take away three things from this presentation. We want you to be able to describe the benefits of a balanced snack, explain how to create a balanced, satiating snack, and recognize how to read a nutrition label and identify health-forward snack options. So I'm going to start by briefly defining what a balanced snack is. A balanced snack is a snack that contains protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So a snack that contains each of these macronutrients is going to be more filling and help regulate our blood sugar. So blood sugar is the glucose that we have circulating in our blood. The carbs that we eat get broken down into glucose and then it goes to the bloodstream. Some carbs that we eat get digested and absorbed very quickly. So some examples of these would be fruit juices, white bread, candy, and cereal. These are known as simple carbohydrates. So when we eat food that's high in these carbs, the glucose can go to our blood quickly, which causes our blood sugar to spike. In response to this increase in blood sugar, our pancreas produces a lot of insulin quickly to get those glucose levels back to normal. So think of insulin like a key. It unlocks the cell and it opens the door so the glucose can go out of our blood and go into our cells. And this gives our cells energy and it helps get our blood glucose levels back to normal. Sometimes the pancreas will release more insulin than we need if we have a large blood sugar spike, which can make our blood sugar too low or just lower than our bodies are used to. And this creates what's known as a sugar crash. And it can cause shakiness, fatigue, hunger, and trouble concentrating. So this graph shows how the foods we eat affect our blood sugar levels. So when we eat snacks or meals that are high in simple carbohydrates, we see a spike in our blood sugar followed by a crash a little while later. And this is shown by the pink line on the graph. When we can see there are big increases in blood glucose after the meal and then big decreases in blood glucose a little while later. And this can easily become a continuous cycle. So when we eat one snack or meal that is high in sugary foods, it gives us that fast energy quickly, but then a few hours later, it can lead to a sugar crash, which leaves us feeling tired and hungry. And so that feeling makes us want to grab another snack that's high in those simple carbs so we can get that energy that our body needs again. But that leads to another glucose spike and drop, and the cycle just kind of continues. But the green line shows what it looks like to eat balanced snacks and meals throughout the day. So we still see the rises and falls as glucose enters our bloodstream and as insulin pulls it out, but there aren't those big rises and dips like there are on the pink line. So we get the fuel we need without the blood sugar spike, which leads to more sustained energy throughout the entire day. Okay, so now that we know the background on balanced snacking and blood sugar regulation, let's identify some snacks that are balanced and some that are not. So when identifying balanced snacks, we're really looking for the three key components that I already mentioned: protein, carbs, and fat. So some examples of balanced snacks include a cheese stick with turkey and crackers, trail mix, an apple with peanut butter, or a Greek yogurt with nut butter and berries. So in the first example, the cheese provides the fat, the turkey provides the protein, and the crackers provide the carbohydrates. And then some examples of carb-heavy snacks are pretzels, fresh and dried fruit, fruit juices, chips, and cereal. So these snacks are imbalanced because they don't contain all of those macronutrients. But I want to emphasize that these foods are not bad, but we can make a snack more filling and, well, if we add more to these foods rather than just eating them alone. So here are some ways that we can make those snack examples more filling. We could pair peanut butter with the pretzels, nuts with the fruit, vegetables and hummus with the fruit juices, a meat stick and guac with the chips, and Greek yogurt and a nut butter with the cereal. So the focus here is on adding more rather than taking away so the snack is balanced and filling. So eating snacks that are balanced throughout the day has many benefits. As discussed before, consuming snacks that are made of mostly simple carbohydrates can lead to a sugar crash later in the day. But when we choose a balanced snack, we avoid the sugar crash and the negative effects that come with it. Balanced snacking gives more sustained, lasting energy. Because these snacks take longer to digest, we get a steady input of glucose over a longer period of time, and this leads to more sustained energy. Balanced snacking also leads to better productivity, which is very beneficial during a long workday. It can be hard to concentrate a few hours after eating a sugary snack because of that sugar crash. But when we eat balanced snacks, our brain has the energy it needs to focus on the task at hand. So now it's time to check your knowledge with a little game. So on this slide, we can see there are a variety of snack foods. We have trail mix, orange juice, and avocado, apples with peanut butter, and a plate with turkey, vegetables, hummus, and crackers. So I'm going to have y'all type in the chat which snack you think will raise our blood sugar the fastest. And I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And I see a question I'm just going to answer really quick, asking if sunflower butter could be used in place of peanut butter when paired with the pretzels. And the answer is yes. They both contain healthy fats, and so that is a great substitution. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of orange juice. Okay, it looks like y'all pretty much know the answer. So the correct answer is the orange juice. Orange juice is made of solely simple carbohydrates, so that glucose goes to our blood more quickly than these other snacks. So an avocado is made primarily of fat, and then the other snacks are a mixture of protein, carbs, and fats. And so they digest more slowly than that orange juice does. So we know that balanced snacks make us feel better and they give us more energy, but it is hard to make a balanced snack on a busy day. So we're going to briefly talk about barriers to picking a balanced snack on a busy day at work. And you can type your responses in the chat or you can unmute your mic. Limited choices, that's definitely a big one. I know a lot of workspaces have a lot of candy and things like that. Lack of planning in a busy schedule, that's probably one of the biggest ones. It can be really hard to make a healthy snack ahead of time. I saw someone mentioned they do better if they plan the night before. I think that's a really great way to just, you're prepared, you have that snack, and you're ready to go on the day of. Okay, well, now I'm gonna pass it on to Gabriella.
Okay. As we just learned, what we eat can directly affect how we feel, both mentally and physically. Our food choices influence energy levels, focus, mood, and even hunger cues throughout the day. This is why it's so important to recognize what components make up a balanced snack, which starts with understanding macronutrients, which are protein, carbs, and fat. Carbohydrates are the body's primary source of fuel and preferred source. They break down into glucose, which fuels our brain and muscles. Because they digest relatively quickly, they can provide a fast boost of energy. However, if a snack contains only carbohydrates, particularly refined ones, it may cause a rapid rise in blood sugar followed by a quick drop, like we just learned. That crash can leave you feeling tired, irritable, and hungry soon after eating. Protein plays a key role in balancing this response. It slows down digestion and helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing those sharp spikes and crashes. Protein also stimulates satiety hormones, which signals fullness to the brain. This means including protein in a snack can help you stay satisfied longer and maintain steady energy between meals. In addition, protein supports muscle repair and overall body function. Fat also contributes to satiety and sustained energy. Like protein, fat slows digestion, which helps prolong fullness and provide a more gradual release of energy. Healthy fats, such as those in nuts, seeds, avocados, and certain dairy products, can also support brain health and nutrient absorption. Creating a well-balanced snack involves combining these macronutrients to work together. For example, pairing a fruit, a carbohydrate, with a nut butter, a fat, and some protein provides both immediate energy and long-lasting fullness. By including a mix of carbohydrates, protein, and fat, we can keep our energy levels steady, support our metabolism, and keep our stomachs satisfied until the next meal. Ideally, carbs and protein should be the base of the snack and fat included as an optional but helpful component. Choosing a high fiber carb rather than a low fiber carb will increase satiety, as fiber aids in slowing digestion even more. An example of high fiber carbs would be apples, berries, whole grains, and oatmeal, whereas low fiber carbs are refined grains such as white bread, white rice, cereal, and candies. For the protein component, think of foods like lean meats, Greek yogurt, eggs, bananas, cheese, and milk. With fats, we really want to focus on thinking about unsaturated fats. These are foods like avocados, nuts, peanut butter, and seeds such as sunflower or pumpkin seeds. The reason I say that fat is an optional but helpful component is because they aren't essential for a snack to meet basic nutritional needs, but a small amount of healthy fat can help prolong fullness and stabilize blood sugar. Another factor to keep in mind is that many foods in the protein category, such as cheese, also contain some fat. The key point to remember when building a snack is not just a variety of carbs, protein, and fat, but a balanced mix of the three that will provide optimal support to our bodies and minds. To recap, we want to be thoughtful when choosing the type of carbohydrate, making sure there is a moderate amount of protein to keep us full, and keeping the healthy fat additive to smaller amounts. So now we're going to play a little game. It's your turn to create a balanced snack. In the chat, type out your snack box combo using these options, including 1 carb, 1 protein, and 1 fat if you'd like. Good. I see a lot of people utilizing the fat option. Those are some great healthy fats. Popcorn and cheese stick. It's one of my favorites. Those all look really good. I see a lot of crackers and cheese and yogurt and fruit, apples and peanut butter. Yeah, those all look really good. If the foods you put in your box have a check mark next to them, then you've successfully created a balanced snack. Now that you know what makes a snack balanced and why, I want to share some quick recipes and options if you're in a time crunch, because healthy eating doesn't have to be time-consuming or complicated. The first recipe is protein energy balls. Combine rolled oats, peanut butter, or any nut butter of your choice, chia or flax seeds, and a little bit of honey or semi-sweet chocolate chips for some sweetness. Roll these into balls and store them in the fridge for as long as you'd like, making them a great snack to pack on the go. Overnight oats are another great option to prepare ahead of time. Just combine 1 part oats to 1 part milk, a few scoops of Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and a dash of maple syrup or honey. Make as many servings as you'd like and store in the fridge till you're ready to enjoy. Another even quicker option is prepping snack boxes as you just created yourselves. Some delicious and nutritious combo ideas are veggies and hummus, whole grain crackers, cheese and nuts or berries, hard-boiled eggs and fruit, or fruit and nut butter. Spending a few minutes to prepare any of these filling and energy-sustaining snacks at the start of your week will not only save you time throughout the week, but will also prepare your body and mind for a successful workday.
So now that we've talked about the benefits of balanced snacking and how to create a balanced snack, we can move on to recognizing how to read and interpret a food label. So we have all seen food labels on the back of food products, but how many people really know what they're reading? Food labels are required on the back of all food products to inform the consumer about what they're about to consume. On all food labels, they contain serving information, calories, nutrient information, and daily value. When you look at a food label, it is important to look at the serving size and the servings per container. As we can see on the picture here, the serving size 1 cup is in large text and bolded, where the servings per container above it is not bolded and it's smaller, so it might be easier to miss. Another thing that we want to look at first is going to be those calories. So again, it is important to understand that the calories listed is going to be for that serving size and not for the servings per container or the entire item. The percent daily value is going to show how much of a nutrient in 1 serving of food contributes to your total daily intake. It will help you judge whether a food is going to be high or low for your daily value.
According to the FDA, a food that is 5% or lower is considered low, and a food that is 20% or higher is considered high for your daily value. We can now see nutrients listed here like sodium, total fat, and protein. This is where we really need to understand the things we want to look for versus maybe the things we want to limit and things that we want to have a high daily value or a low daily value. So now that we can understand and interpret a food label, what do we want to maybe limit? As stated prior, to make a well-balanced snack, we want to see carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. However, too many or too much of one thing may not be the best option. For example, too much carb or too much fat may not be the best idea depending on that daily value and certain health conditions. So some of the things that we want to limit are going to be our saturated fats, our trans fats, excess sodium, and added sugars. So added sugars are put into foods and drinks to enhance the flavor and make them taste better. However, there is no nutritional need or benefit to these added sugars. They can also be looked at as empty calories, which can lead to weight gain and therefore lead to negative health outcomes in the future. Added sugars can also be pro-inflammatory, so those can lead to those high blood sugar spikes, which can lead to prediabetes or even type 2 diabetes. So it is recommended for our added sugars to be less than 10% of our daily value. Sodium is another one that we are all familiar with. The recommended amount of sodium to consume is going to be 2,300 or less. Excess sodium can lead to high blood pressure, which can then lead to heart disease and stroke. More than 70% of the sodium that we consume is going to be from processed foods and our restaurant foods. Excess sodium can also cause an increased water retention, which can lead to puffiness and bloating, which therefore can lead to weight gain. Another item we want to look to limit is going to be our saturated fats. So saturated fats can be found in many animal-based products like beef, pork, poultry, and many of your red meats. This type of fat can cause issues with your cholesterol and again, can raise your chance for heart disease. So choosing an alternative fat like our unsaturated, our polyunsaturated, and monounsaturated will decrease those risks for heart disease. The American Heart Association recommends aiming for less than 10% of your total calories to come from saturated fats. Another fat we want to look to limit is going to be our trans fats. So trans fats will raise your LDL cholesterol or your bad cholesterol and lower your HDL cholesterol or your good cholesterol. A diet high in trans fats will increase your risk for heart attack and stroke. These trans fats come from hydrogenated oils that can be found in different food products such as frozen pizza, fried foods, and even some of your packaged foods. The recommendation for trans fats is to try to consume none throughout the day or as close to none as possible. So what do we want to look out for on our food label then? We want to look for things like dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. So dietary fiber is going to be one of the most important. It is a very important carbohydrate that many people are not actually consuming enough of. The recommendation for dietary fiber for females is going to be 25 grams, and for males, it is going to be 38 grams of fiber. Dietary fiber has many health benefits on the body, including lowering our cholesterol levels and help maintaining our normal blood sugar. High fiber foods also tend to be more filling than low fiber or non-fiber foods, so you will likely eat less and feel satiated for longer, meaning you're consuming less calories for the same volume of food. The next item to look for on a food label is going to be vitamin D. So vitamin D, along with calcium, is needed in the body to build bones and keep them healthy. It also can assist in immune health and keep our muscle and brain cells healthy. Vitamin D is not commonly found in foods unless it is added, so it is one of the most, if not the most deficient vitamins we see in the body. However, we can find vitamin D in fortified milk, cereal, and fish products like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Iron is going to be another important mineral that helps maintain healthy blood, and without enough can cause different health conditions like anemia. So without enough iron, the body cannot successfully transport oxygen, which can cause feelings of tiredness or fatigue. Iron is also essential in the brain development and growth in children. So iron can come in two forms, as we see on the screen here. We have heme iron and non-heme iron. So heme iron is going to be our animal products and is better absorbed in the body. And then non-heme is going to be found in plant foods such as whole grains, nuts, and legumes, which are not as well absorbed as those heme items. And lastly, we have potassium. So potassium's main role in the body is to help maintain normal levels of fluid inside of our cells. It can also play a role in heart health and blood pressure, along with muscle and nerve function. Many potassium-rich foods includes fruits like bananas and oranges, leafy greens such as spinach and broccoli, legumes, potatoes, and nuts. So now I'm going to have you guys check out this food label, and based on some of the things that we have talked about, what sticks out to you? What are things you see that you might want to limit versus things that you want to see on your food label? Yep, so I'm seeing high fat, high sugar, high sodium with the saturated and trans fats. Yep, 70% is way too much for saturated fats. Yeah, so you guys hit all of those points. We see here that saturated is 70%, which again is something we want to see at 10% or lower. And trans fats, again, something we want to see as close to zero as possible. The sodium is 43% of our daily value. This is just a high item food for sodium, which could make it much easier to consume excess sodium. And the added sugars at 32%. Again, this is something that we want to see under 10%. So we'll do the same thing. What do we notice that's different about this nutrition label? What are the good things that we see about this versus maybe the things that we want to limit? Yep. So I'm seeing high fiber, which is something that we did not see on that last food label. There's no trans fat on this one, which is awesome. This is definitely low sodium and low in fat, both within our percent daily value that we want to see. And then again, just those 4 vitamins and minerals that were talked about that help assist in immune function and help with certain health conditions are also something that we want to see there as well. So, in summary, balanced snacking plays an important role in supporting steady energy levels, improving focus, preventing extreme hunger, and helping regulate blood sugar throughout the day. Rather than causing quick spikes and crashes, a well-balanced snack helps us feel satiated and energized between meals. Creating a balanced, satiating snack is simple when we focus on combining those macronutrients. Pairing carbohydrate with protein or fat is simple or promotes digestion, promotes fullness, and provides more sustained energy. And being able to read and understand a nutrition label empowers us to choose health-forward snack options. So being able to look at serving size, fiber, and overall ingredient lists helps us identify snacks that support our goals rather than undermine them. So overall, balanced snacking is about intentional choices that support energy, satisfaction, and long-term health. We will now open the floor to any questions. You can either unmute yourself and ask, or you can, again, just type those in the chat and we will do our best to answer those for you guys.
Yeah, I think you guys hit on a lot of great things. I don't know about you all, but me, sometimes you think about a snack and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna grab some crackers. And this made us think, challenge us a little bit more that how about crackers and some of these other elements to make it, like they said, a more balanced snack? So it stays with you longer. You can get, a little more bang for your buck out of it instead of grabbing another snack, maybe an hour later. So you have less of that grabbing for another snack sort of day happening. So great things for us to think about. Um, what do you guys suggest as far as some of these things, like if we're going to plan ahead of things? So many times we're like, oh, but eating healthy can be expensive. And if I'm going to go get these healthy snacks that are in these, already pre-done um, snack sizes, and that can get expensive. What are some other alternatives that we can think maybe a little more creatively to still help us hit our goals, but maybe be a bit more budget friendly?
You're totally right. Those prepackaged healthy snacks are very overpriced sometimes. So here were a few options that you can create ahead of time. And then also, if you don't have time to prep, cheese sticks are always a good one that you can just buy in the store, and they're not too expensive. And then even just like deli turkey and cheese sticks, those are a great snack that you can combine and doesn't take much prep. Popcorn isn't too expensive, and that's a good snack if you're pairing it with some fruit or some nut butters. So buying like a bunch of ingredients like that just to have around so you can create a quick healthy snack on the go. Instead of chia or flax, you could actually leave those out if you don't have them, and it's still going to taste good. It's just going to be a little bit lower in fiber. So just getting your fiber maybe another way throughout the day, or having a fruit with it would be a great suggestion.
Well, fantastic. Thank you guys so much for some great tips for us. I think that we can implement immediately, some things to think about. And even when it does come time for snack time and we have some options available, taking a few more moments to think, wait, which one might be a healthier option, or how can I get a more balanced snack the next time we're reaching for those snacks, has put some great information into our brains to consider for next time. So thank you guys so much. I'm not seeing any other questions come through, but certainly if there are some things that come up later, reach out to us at wellness@ou.edu, and we'll make sure that your questions can get addressed and kind of point you in the right direction. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys.